Hello and welcome to another Fantasy Premier League video. My name's Steve and I bought Salah in for my one free transfer in game week 30 and proceeded to watch him take 12 shots in the match against Brentford. 12 shots, the most shots that Salah has ever taken in a single Premier League match, and he only came away with one goal and 0 bonus points. So my choice to go against the high or heavy EO of Sun, which came out at 113% at my rank and 140% in the top 10k, goes to show just how heavily Sun was being captained. Salah was down at 88% EO and could have been a monster rank gain had Salah been a bit more clinical on the day. So Sun's 86-minute winner for Spurs rewarded the majority of all managers who captained Sun this weekend with a huge 10-pointer. And sadly, it was not to be for my team this game week. I missed my safety score by 6 points, which was pretty much due to the 0-0 draw this morning, with many managers somewhat forced to play in a lot of their Arsenal defenders this game week. But anyway, we've got a very short turnaround before the next deadline, as we have a mid-week deadline for game week 31. And this video is about the absolute shambles that United are in, as well as why I'm taking a hit this week in order to set up for game week 34 double. So make sure to give the following content a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, especially if you get some value out of the following content. Right, so I thought I'd cover United in this video, as some managers may be looking to bring United assets into their squads for the extremely good looking fixture run that starts in game week 33 and runs pretty much right up until game week 37, where they are very likely to double. Now, to highlight some of the points, this is mostly going to be focused around the Brentford fixture. We're not going to go back too far back into older matches. We'll just go with the most recent match that United have played, and I will read out some of the timestamps from my match notes this weekend. So, at the 50-minute mark, Bruno shouldn't be shooting from that far out and that wide given the current game state. We need to hold the ball and generate pressure. Attempting a worldie is a low footballing IQ play and an absolute waste of possession. So that was at the 50-minute mark. Then at the 52nd minute mark, Dallo now with a worldie attempt. What the F, guys? 2 minutes apart? First Bruno, then our right back Dallo from 23 yards out, wide right. Yes, he has hit the ball well, but come on, those hardly ever go in. Work the ball a bit, quick 1-2s, draw a foul in the box, whatever else but this. So, just to go through a little bit of that, we need to be playing the ball in better areas. Stop giving the ball away so cheaply, and stop relieving pressure so quickly and wastefully. Now, a huge part of this is coming down to Bruno, and it's not just him. Dallo and Wan-Bissaka are also giving the ball away far too cheaply. We've also got issues in the middle of the park with McTominay. So at the 65-minute mark, McTominay has no press resistance. He's also a huge problem. He gives the ball away in the middle of the park and Brentford immediately pounce, generating a dangerous volley for Tony, who hits it well but shaves the crossbar as it goes over. So it comes down to this, really. What is our game plan? Or more accurately, how is Ten Hag wanting United to play? Is it to get the ball wide to Wan-Bissaka and Dallo to constantly drill the ball into the area aimlessly? Neither are good passers of the ball. And what about Bruno? Where is he meant to be working? He's forever passing the ball around 25 yards out from goal without making any runs towards the 18-yard box. He never pushes the team into dangerous areas. There are no runs in behind, no quick 1-2s, zero attack. And all of this results in endless shots from 22 yards out through a mass of bodies, hoping that someone flukes a worldie. Now, this leaves Højlund in no man's land, not through his own fault, but just because the system isn't geared towards him. What is he meant to do? Nothing is being passed to him in dangerous areas. This is horrible football. So, as you can tell, I'm not very impressed with what is going on at United. It has been actually a terrible season. At the start of the FPL season, I was watching them very closely in pre-season, hoping that I could bring some assets into my squad, as I do love to support United when they are playing good football. But they started off poorly. I avoided them altogether, and it does not look like it has gotten any better after 30 game weeks of the season. Now, I have been watching them pretty much every 90-minute match for the entire season. This is not something new. This is just the latest, and maybe perhaps the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. So, I'm going to vary a little bit off topic here for FPL, because I do not like it when people just come out and complain about players or teams. If you're going to say that things aren't going too well, I think you should at least try to offer your thoughts on what needs to change. And so with that in mind, this is what I think is lacking. So first of all, Bruno needs to be instructed to stop taking long shots, like altogether. He needs to be told to focus on short passes with movement from him after every pass, to instead try difficult through balls in and around the 18. I would be much more happy seeing him trying stuff in tight areas, trying to work in Højlund or Garnacho or Rashford, who've come in from the wings, if they have managed to come in from the wings, and try a difficult pass and lose the ball that way, rather than just taking a pop shot from halfway, 30 yards out, or whatever he seems to be doing at the moment. Now, if Bruno does start to hold the ball a bit more and look to play these short passes, then he can actually bring Højlund into the game. So Højlund then needs to link with Bruno, providing space for Bruno to run into as Højlund drops off the defensive line. Now, unfortunately, Bruno is so far out that he's basically just cutting off this option from Højlund at all times. He needs to work with the wingers a bit more, this is Højlund, get some relationships working with them so that he can start to read their runs. Now, one thing that Højlund looks to be pretty good at is ball at his feet, back to goal, able to play the players in and around him. He hasn't been able to do it very often, but when he has done it, it has worked to good effect. Now, McTominay should be nowhere near the engine room. If we're going to use him, chuck him up front where he doesn't have the time to hold on to the ball. Instead, allow him to use his best abilities, which seem to be getting into the right positions in the box and using his quick reactions and great shot selection to effect. Now, this is an idea that I've built up after watching him for the whole season. He seems to read the game extremely well, especially in attack. The ball always seems to land at his feet, but I just do not know what he is doing in the CDM roles, either alongside Mainu or Casemiro or whatever it is that we are trying to do with McTominay. Now, Garnacho and Rashford need to work on movement drills that work the ball from the wings on trajectories that finish at the corner of the 18-yard box. They need to get triangles working with Bruno, the nearest CDM, whether that be Mainu or Casemiro, and then generate space on the wing by moving off the wings themselves, allowing Wan-Bissaka and Dalot some space outside them, and most importantly, start passing the ball around with Højlund. We need to bring Højlund into the game. Our attack is just all over the place. Now, Wan-Bissaka and Dalot, short passing drills, short passing drills, short passing drills. I do not understand how these guys just cannot seem to make simple short passes, especially when we are up around the enemy's 18-yard box. Now, Casemiro changes the game. He is still a great player. However, he is way too slow. Lumbering, in fact. We cannot generate quick, sharp counterattacks with him involved. If he starts the move, there's no way he can join the attack in time, leaving us one man short at all times in attack. He's going to be useful working with sustained possession in and around the box, as he does that to great effect. He's almost a little bit Rodri-esque in that sense, if he's had the time to get up and join the attack. This is, of course, assuming that Bruno isn't shooting from 30 yards out every time he gets the chance, but he's also not going to be able to stop any counterattacks and will be forced into professional fouls, which will eventually take Casemiro out of the game. Now, if we are going to be playing Casemiro on the pitch, and I think we should because he is our best, one of our best players, Mainu needs to work to protect Casemiro and his speed. He needs to kind of be the Gallagher of United, but with more flair. He needs to join Bruno in attack to provide overloads, using short, sharp passes to play in Højlund and the wingers, and Bruno too, if he can get into the box at all, but also be working extremely hard to get back and cover Casemiro. Now, if we manage to fix the spine and the point of our attack, we can start to compete, but until then, we will be left with hopeful long shots, one-dimensional attacks, and the absolute shite that was on display against Brentford this weekend. We also need to stabilise the defence. We've had 20 different back fours this season. That's 20 different combinations of players. How is this meant to work? When Maguire's on the pitch, he's constantly darting out of the back line into midfield. If Varane's on the pitch, he never does this and stays in the centre-back positions. Martinez is like a little terrier working all over the place, meaning his other centre-back needs to cover often. Different wing-backs that are playing need to generate key relationships with the wingers in front of them. And Casemiro and Mainu are always having to work defensively with a different centre-back pairing all the time. Now, yes, we have been struck with injury after injury all year long, but 20 different combinations of players across our back four is just ridiculous. Now, if I had carte blanche over the United team, the only players I would actually keep in the first 11 at the moment would be Højlund, Garnacho, Mainu, Martinez, and Onana. I think everyone else needs an upgrade. So, what does that mean for FPL? it's pretty much a hard avoid on anything related to United, unless you're going with someone like Garnacho as some sort of perma bench spot, only to be used in the rare occasions where United have an exceptionally good fixture, which they do have coming up. So let's bring up the fixture ticket here. So they're away to Chelsea this weekend, which is, I mean, I think Chelsea's probably going to smash us. We then have to play Liverpool in game week 32. So the next two are not great. Excuse me. But from game week 33, they have Bournemouth away, Sheffield United at home, bottom of the table, Burnley at home, second bottom of the table, Crystal Palace away in game week 36, and then in game week 30, one more. In game week 37, we have Arsenal at home, not a great fixture, but that will likely come as a double for United, with probably Newcastle at home in the second to last game week of the season. So yes, United will score the odd goal, and Bruno's expected stats will rack up as he continues to shoot from miles out, as they will slowly generate lots of small XG chances, making it actually look like he's doing all right if you are only looking at the expected stats. But you're hoping on a prayer if you think they're going to pull their act together and generate high quality chances on multiple occasions to score with any sort of consistency. And they will almost certainly concede each and every game. So for me, I think I'm going to completely avoid United in the game week 37 double and the run-in to the game week 37 double, unless something serious changes before then. So apologies to any of you out there who are like me and United and are a United supporter. I don't really like dumping on the team in any way, but man, it has been a painful 30 game weeks of viewing. It has not been very good football. But anyway, we move. So this game week we are actually flying blind, as there won't actually be any press conferences this game week. So we won't have any injury updates or squad overviews from the managers before the deadline ticks over this game week. Now, if you did miss my video last week, I did share with all of you that my pre-planned move was to sell Watkins this game week, as Villa's fixtures turn difficult over the next three, with them playing, where are we, 31, City away, Brentford at home. Brentford are very good at putting up the low block, and then Arsenal away. I think that's three very tough fixtures for Villa. And with the half-time substitution of Watkins in the fixture at the weekend, I see no reason not to follow through with this move. So I will in fact be selling Watkins this week. And if you did catch last week's video, you'll know that I was tossing up between selling Watkins to go to either Darwin Núñez and eventually buying Eze into my squad before game week 34, or I was going to sell Watkins to buy Semenyo, who is a very cheap 4.6 million, I think, at the moment, Bournemouth striker or winger, who is playing, has a very good double in game week 34 of Villa away and Wolves away, two away games, but I think Bournemouth can definitely score multiple goals in both of those fixtures. And if I was going to go with Semenyo up front, I would be looking to bring in someone like Odegaard for a hit for the extremely enticing Luton fixture this game week. Now, if I do go down the Semenyo route, I could also look to, instead of Odegaard, bring in a Liverpool midfielder for the Sheffield United fixture that they have this coming midweek. But with Jota looking to be fit very soon, I'd like to see how that plays out first before I commit to my other Liverpool attacker. So I've already got Salah in my squad. Hand on heart, I probably really want Diogo Jota for the game week 34 double. And wouldn't really like to go with Diaz, and so it looks like I will have to delay that move up until around game week 33 or 34 to bring in my other Liverpool midfielder. Now, having chatted with Ocean Loader in the comments on the last video, I basically cemented the decision in my mind before all the fixtures were played in game week 30. I will quickly read the relevant excerpt to explain my reasoning. I think Ocean Loader commented that he said that Darwin is a continuous disappointment every time he has owned him. And I responded with, I 100% agree, mate. Darwin is a continuous disappointment. I am very heavily leaning away from him. The EO is totally a factor though. If he flukes a few goals, and I have borne the brunt of this many times before, the rank loss will be huge. So I actually compared Darwin to Richarlison in the video last week, discussing my thoughts around why I was looking to dodge Darwin Núñez. My comment goes on to say, however, this is Darwin, he is the main man to go against. If you rank the eye test as more important than expected stats, then I think he's the best template player to go against, especially if he manages to cop a benching or two. So yes, I myself will almost certainly be going with Semenyo and either Jota or Diaz, as opposed to Darwin and either Eze or Sarabia. So that is going to be my move this game week. I'm going to be bringing in Semenyo, chucking him on the bench, and Odegaard for a hit, playing Odegaard of course, and this is the hit that I do need to spend at some point before game week 34 in order to have my ideal team set up, which will consist of 10 doublers plus Haaland in game week 34. And I will also be captaining Salah again this weekend against Sheffield United. Pretty much that's a no-brainer, but I do suspect he will be much more heavily owned this game week and captained, so I will not probably get too much rank rise out of my captaincy choice in game week 31. And alright, that wraps up this video. So remember to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until next time, I will catch you again shortly. Cheers.